Sorry about that. I had that muted. So Adrian Glenn, you are looking at another episode of the 30-Day 30 App Challenge hosted by Military Grade Automation. So today we are doing a pretty legendary app. It's called the Legendary app. I get a lot of inspiration from great people from the past, like Alexander the Great, Galileo, Leonardo da Vinci. It's a lot of just great people throughout history, right? So we're gonna make an app where you can learn really quick, really fast, in a very creative and convenient way, everything you would want to know about all of the great people throughout history. Because if you're someone like me who has a lot of goals and motivation and inspiration in your life, you always are looking for more inspiration, right? So yeah, let's try and do a more positive app today. We have a lot more cool apps coming up though. We have tomorrow we have a DC Comics application coming out. I know the Superman movie just came out recently, so we're gonna make an app for all of the DC superheroes. We'll be making another one for the Marvel heroes as well. We got a crypto app coming up soon. We have a stock trading application as well. So we have a lot of really cool things coming up soon. And yeah, I'm excited. So let's get to it. All right, so that project requirement document was already created and is currently generating that app for us through Replit. Here's the mock-up image that I submitted. And like all of my other mock-up images and the project requirement documents, I will be providing all of this information at the end of the challenge to you guys with the apps that we were able to create, and everything will be 100% free. So here's that project requirement document that we submitted to get this app that's currently generating. Let's just check that out really quick while we wait for it to load. So it's called Legend Explorer, project requirement document, retro parchment edition. So basically the app is going to look more of a retro art style. Mobile first web app built to introduce users to 50 of the most legendary individuals in human history. Each figure will have a dedicated profile page with hand curated data, biographical information, impactful quotes, iconic achievements, fun facts, and image references. The app will use static JSON data for quick loading while optionally integrating Wikipedia or YouTube APIs for richer exploration. But yeah, should be a pretty cool app, really convenient and useful. If you ever trying to push forward in life and you need some motivation, it should be a great app to get that. And also, if you're a history buff, I'm big into history. My middle name is Alexander, from Alexander the Great, so definitely love history, love learning about great people from the past, and it's just a cool, convenient way to do that. Yeah, so it is generating that app here, like we can see. As always, it always starts off with a pretty basic version of the final product, but once we get a couple details added in and some functions added in, we can make everything look a lot nicer and a lot more high quality. And as always, we don't need any code for this app. Everything is pretty much straightforward. We can just dive in and get things going. You see. Okay, so it's still generating that. And let's check out what it's creating for us, right? So like we went over, it has that parchment style web app showcasing 50 legendary historical figures with biographies, quotes, and fun facts. Okay, so we have that home page being generated, like we can see here. Library with scrollable grid of 50 historical figures. Search functionality to filter legends by name. Okay, fun facts. So yeah, pretty much everything that we were going over originally. Let's see what else we're able to add in later if we would like to. So we can add audio clips for quotes or speeches, right? So we can have the AI read that for us, or it can generate a voice potentially of what the person might sound like, right? And we can implement timeline sidebars to sort legends by historical era, which is also pretty cool. Check things out by era. It gives you a better perspective on what type of lifestyle they were living. And history, honestly, when I was younger, I was under the impression history was pretty boring. I always thought, what's the point of learning about history if we're not in the past, right? Anything that was valuable from there was probably innovated by now, right? It's probably a better version of whatever they were doing. But when you check things out and realize that like 1 in every 12 people on the planet are related to Genghis Khan because he was such a conqueror and he was literally one guy in control of like 1 out of every 3 people on the planet. Like he was literally controlling a third of the planet, just through his strategic actions and everything like that. Or you learn about someone like Leonardo da Vinci that was doing everything from painting like the Mona Lisa. He designed the first tank. He did a ton of things. Like a lot of people throughout history were doing a lot of amazing things. And the more you understand who they were and how they did what they did, the more you have a chance to do something amazing, really. And that's the mentality of this channel here. Military grade automation is all about trying to strive forward and be great overall. That's why I'm doing this 30-day 30 app challenge, to be honest. From day one of this challenge, that was actually my first day of streaming. And I'm just the type of person, if I'm going to stream, I might as well, like, if I'm going to do anything, I'm going to do it to the best of my ability. So if I'm going to stream every day for 30 days and I'm going to lock it in and I'm going to try and be the best at it. So apps like this are just can inspire you, give you something to think about. Okay. So it's giving us that budget alert, and that's probably why it's taking a little bit longer to load, but it's no big deal. We can just increase that as always. So let me check it out here. Okay. So it's basically just letting us know we're in the warning range. It gives you a warning range, and it also gives you a range of the limit before it turns off or something like that. So it's just letting me know. And we control the range of the budget and everything like that, obviously. Right, cool. So it's still loading up these components of the web page here. But yeah, this is an app meant to check out informational historical figures, right? But you can also use this to check out whatever you wanted to, right? So yesterday we did a hip hop app. This legend app, this could have been a hip hop, like a rapper's app or a pop star app or a movie star app. It could have any genre of people. I just chose to do legendary figures throughout history because I feel like that's just something that I would be interested in. But yeah, there's a ton of potential with this style of app. Each of these 30 apps that we're building for this 30-day challenge, I'm really pushing to have every app just be a more creative version of an app style, right? Because every app out there is more of a style of app, right? Like, for example, a food delivery app, Uber Eats, Grubhub, DoorDash, they're all food delivery style apps, right? So we could make an app that is made to deliver burritos, I guess, and they only work with burritos. But we could also make an app that's geared towards my do-rag straight. Okay, cool. We could also make an app geared towards anything else, like we could have an app delivering food in general, or it's just a range of capabilities, right? If it's delivering things, we can have an app that delivers tennis shoes. We can have an app that delivers clothes from luxury clothing stores. We can have an app that delivers medical supplies to people that were unable to make it to the pharmacy or things like that. There's a wide range of different app styles that we can create. There's a wide range of a lot of different opportunities that we have when we're working in this field. But as always, it always really comes down to being creative and being innovative and just staying active. You can have the best app in the world, but if you don't flesh it out in a good enough way and promote it the right way, then it just won't have the same impact that you're looking for, really. But yeah, so this is loading. It might have had a problem because the budget was reached while it was processing, so it might have just froze up a little bit. So I'll try and pause that loading and start that back up. See if we can get that to function for us. We might just need to restart this process I have ran into this in the past where I was generating an app and it had a problem loading and it was just stuck. So, but restarting that process from scratch solved everything and made it move a lot faster. Let me see what it does here though. It is reviewing the message. Okay. Okay, let's see. Considering options. All right. Working. Okay. So it looks like it might be able to process, but if it takes a little bit too long or we don't see any changes show up, then we can just go ahead and restart this from scratch. Save some time. All right, it's still loading here, working. Let me see. Not seeing any new files be created here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just start this one from scratch, right? So I'm going to just go here. If you ever need to delete an app that you were working on, you can just click these three buttons right here next to the app and click delete. Yes, delete. And that's gone for us. Okay. So now we'll go ahead and get that same mock-up image and PRD dropped in, and we can start that over one more time. Yeah, that budget, once that budget limit is hit, if the app is processing, it can cause some glitches. And Replit, I mean, it's a pretty new program, right? It's a pretty new program. This is a whole new concept in general. So it looks like they still might be working on some things here and there, but overall, this is a pretty amazing software, in my opinion. Can do a lot. All right, a vintage style webcam. Okay, so it should be pretty much all the same information. Let's just get this started. All right. Okay, agent is working on these tasks. All right, cool. Let's see what else they have in here now. All right, so interesting that we put in all the same information originally, right? But it looks like it actually pulled up different results for us. This time it's saying that we can integrate YouTube API for documentary links here. I didn't see this originally. Error-based filtering. That's pretty interesting. Implementing a timeline slider for chronological browsing. All right. And add audio clips for famous quotes and speeches. All right. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Overall, these do seem some good features to have. And yeah, the basics it's pretty basics, just the general information that we already went over. All right, let me see. Still loading. Okay. Let's make sure this is able to get things done the way it should be able to. Considering options. Okay. So yeah, it's still processing like normal. Cool, cool, cool. All right. But yeah, I think this app is going to be pretty cool though. I think honestly, this is going to be pretty cool, especially learning about different people from history, like samurais, different ninjas that existed in the previous time, different kings and rulers and things like that. It should be a really cool experience for us. All right. So yeah, it's still loading up. All right. So must be adding some good information for us. All right, okay. I'm really interested in wondering who they end up pulling in here. So they have Gandhi here, Bob Marley, Alexander the Great, Leonardo da Vinci in here, Malcolm X, Bruce Lee, Benjamin Franklin. So it's some cool people in here. Just want to see how this loads up so we can get started with the fun part. Start editing the design and things like that and adding some good information. Might need some APIs in here. Okay, so it was loading. All right, so it was having some glitches. That's fine though. It looks like it was loading behind the scenes. And already from the beginning, just like yesterday, I can tell that this app design that they're going with is a little bit basic. So first thing we're going to do today is really make this look a lot cleaner. Just because when we're working on these web pages, if we already have a basic design down and it's pretty solid originally, then every change that we make, it'll already be working with that design instead of having to worry about that design not being compatible or something like that. I also hope you guys are checking out like things like crypto, because crypto has been going pretty crazy today. So would definitely recommend, if you guys aren't checking out crypto, I would definitely recommend getting in there and checking things out with that, because there's a lot of money to be made there, and it's going to go up pretty fast pretty soon. All right, so creating the data. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's taking longer than it usually does, and it seems like it's having some bugs. And so I'm wondering if it might be a problem that I'm not catching with this one. Creating data / legends.json. Okay. Looks like it might be processing still, but want to see if anything shows up here that makes it look like we have a bug or something showing up. This is the first time I've seen any problems from the beginning, though, to be honest. Usually this portion is pretty smooth, so it'd definitely be great to learn what might be causing the issue here, if any issues are showing up, or maybe it's just taking a little bit longer to get everything done. Let me see. Yeah, it's still stuck on this creating data legends.json. Okay. Let me see. I almost want to try and restart this one, but it's the second time we tried it. Okay. See if we can check out any error messages showing up in here or anything like that. Check out the assistant. And if you ever have any issues with using Replit, you can always click this plus right here, and you just show that. So you click that plus and you click assistant, and it'll give you pretty much a guide that you can ask any questions without worrying about changing anything. It can change things too if you wanted to, but it's a little bit more of a chat GPT style. All right, so the program is taking longer than expected. Is there any issues with the app generation? All right, let's just verify there's no problem showing up for us. Okay. Looks like it's loading that up. Let's check here too. Yeah, it's still at the same page. So that's definitely not normal. It's usually a lot faster. All right, looking at the code base, see some potential issues. Development mode, overhead. Your app is running in development mode. And several plugins and overhead. Okay, so it might just be adding a lot more information in here than it usually does. Okay. It's frozen. Let me try and just pause it and resume it. See if we can restart that process or something. It's interesting though. This is the first time it's running any problems at all right here. Okay, looks like it's moving forward. Okay, it's moving forward now. Nice. All right, so still processing, getting things done. And as always, the beginning is always a little bit slower, but once we get the ball rolling, everything should be pretty smooth. It's pretty smooth sailing. Okay, create replit.md. Okay. All right. So replit.md, that's usually one of the final files that it creates. And we can also check right here just to make sure it is generating everything. So it looks like it's been stalling, but if you check out over here, you can see it's been doing a lot of work in the background. All right, cool. So that app is loading now. How does the app look and feel? Does the vintage parchment theme work well? Are you able to navigate between pages smoothly? Cool. All right, so I definitely don't like the art style. And the first thing I'm gonna do is tell it to add more detail. Add more detail to the art style. Make it look more high quality in design. All right. So just first thing, just to start it off, we're gonna make this look a lot nicer because it's very basic right now. I'll enhance the art style and visual design to make the app look more high quality and polished. Let me improve the styling with better texture, shadows, typography, and visual effects. Okay, nice. All right. So it looks like it is updating that for us, which is nice. And I'm going to be right back. Let me step away for a second, but you should be able to see, you'll see this load up for us in real time. Get this right here. Get the full screen on that. Okay. All right, back at it. Looks like it's still loading up those changes for us. Okay, so the design looks a lot nicer already. Cool. Updating the library page, enhanced styling. Okay. Okay. All right. Updating the detail page. Cool, cool. So it's just going through. I even like, yeah, I like how that's working so far. Yeah, it should be cool. It should be cool. But I am thinking, right? Like Assassin's Creed Shadows. All right, so this is a recent video game that came out. It's more like a ninja art style, right? So I know that they have a ninja style, and it's kind of like in line with what we're doing so far. So what I'm gonna do is catch a screenshot of this, and I'm gonna let it know that we want this art style for our app. For the app design. All right, so I'm gonna let it load up originally first. Get everything set up here. I like the direction it's going in. It's just this color isn't working for me right now. I like the font, but the way that this button is designed, even like with these sharp angles, it just doesn't look as appealing as it could be. I like how the button lights up a little bit when you highlight it though. And okay, it's loading up. Whoa. Okay, looks like that page. Yeah, this this website is acting weird today, but it should be fine. All right. Enhance the art style design, high quality improvements. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Let her know to use this art style and let's check it out. So this is what it gave us so far. Really basic. As always, it's using these generic images until we get some databases added in here. And yeah, it's really, really, really bare bones right now, but we can get this updated a lot more. Let's check out. All right, so it has some details in here. That's cool. That's decent so far. Really, really basic though. Definitely want a lot more built in here. I can see you want to adapt the dark, dramatic art style. Cool, cool, cool. So at least it's trying to go with what we're looking for. Okay. Need to update the component styles to use new dark red color scheme. Okay. All right, nice, nice, nice. See, this red is, all right, cool. Cool, this red is doing a lot more. We're definitely going to need an API to pull some information for these people. And what I'm going to do is, while this is loading, we can actually pull up ChatGPT and we can just ask it what API we should be using, because an API is just a great resource that we can use to integrate different information, databases into our website. So let's just ask, what API is great to add information about Legends throughout history to our app. All right, cool. Cool. Let's see what they give us back on this. Man, all the apps are acting pretty weird today. It's not processing. All right, let me try that again. See if we can get back. All right, cool. It's loading this time. And let's see what we got so far. All right, this looks better. Still really, still not really that visually appealing, right? So I want to add some red in there. Replace the purple with more of a red color. All right, cool. Yeah, this purple just looks it's ugly. All right, but so for comprehensive coverage, media wiki, okay. So it looks like this is what we should be rocking with for this. Okay. Greek mythos has Greek artists. Wow, this just bugged out on me. Man, ChatGPT is acting strange today. Okay. Media wiki REST API. All right, cool. So that'll work for us. And it's adding in more of a darker red tone in there because I don't like that purple, honestly. That purple looks pretty bad to me. But we can get that updated. All right, I'm liking how it's highlighted. It's just this design choice is really bare bones right now. Really bare bones. So we're definitely gonna need that updated. I can see the purple accent color is on line 22. Let me update it to a red color instead. Okay, nice. While we wait though, let's see. Nelson Mandela. It always seemed impossible until it's done. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. That's cool. Yeah, my grandfather actually was good friends with Nelson Mandela. He bribed the guards to visit Nelson Mandela in jail in the past. So yeah, he definitely a family friend. But yeah, all right, let's see. Changed purple accent color to red tones, updated CSS variables. Okay. So it added a little bit. It added a little bit in there, but still not up to par. But let's add this API in here really quick. Use this API to add information about the legends. Design the information in an interesting, readable way. Add pictures of each of the individuals. All right, cool. All right, so this should be enough right now. So I'm just letting it know we want to use this API that ChatGPT recommended. We can also see here, no auth required, rate limited to 200 requests a second. So we can make 200 different requests at the same time with this API, and we don't need to sign in to use it. And this is great to pull information from Wikipedia for whatever website. So it's getting that added in for us now. And like I said, we don't need any username, password, anything like that. So it should get all these pictures updated, and we can get this design looking a lot nicer than it does currently. All right. But it does have some couple quotes in here and everything. This is just generic information it pulled though. So once we get the Wikipedia article or the Wikipedia API in here, it should actually be able to get real-time updated information and add a whole lot more and schedule it or design everything in a way that's a lot better to look at. And we're definitely going to need to change the design of this. This is not up to par yet. All right. So implemented the Media Wiki REST API integration. Okay. Looks like that's going smooth and it's just getting that updated for us. Okay. Yeah, let's see who they had though. Bruce Lee, Benjamin Franklin, Julius Caesar, Einstein. Okay. Marby Cuby, not sure who that is. Tesla, Joan of Arc. Okay. She was a peasant woman who convinced the crown prince of France to allow her to lead a French army. Sheesh. Okay. All right, that's pretty interesting. That's cool. That's cool. Good to know, but we definitely need way more details in here. And honestly, the push is to have the AI be able to simulate these different people so you can actually have a conversation with a legend. You know, like they should be able to have a database of what these people did throughout history. So, say for instance, you're tired one day, you need some motivation. You pull up this app like, I wonder what Bob Marley would do. I wonder what Julius Caesar would do. You could just click Julius Caesar and ask him a question, right? He could just answer that question for you. All right, cool. Now I'll update the routes to add a new endpoint for enriching legend data and update existing detail endpoints. Okay, cool. Now it's updating the front end for us too. Nice. Okay. Okay. Man. But yeah, we are 9 days into the challenge though, so we are still rolling forward. Day 9, first 9 days I've been streamed, and we're 9 days into a 30-day, 30 app challenge. Everything's been going a lot smoother than I thought. Honestly, I didn't think it would go this well, but I just didn't care. I was ready to dive in face first and find out what happened. So everything's been going good so far though. All right, so still getting that loaded back up. Okay. All right, let's see what we end up with on this. All right, so since it added that API, it looks like it's going through and probably removing all the information it had on all of the people throughout history and updating that information with current information from the Wikipedia pages. All right. And it's changing the style as well. Okay, cool. Updating the rest of the style to use the dark theme color. Nice. That's why it's always good to work on the style of the website in the beginning, because it'll understand that you want a nicer looking website, right? So over time, it'll make slight edits while it's doing other things as well. Okay. So it's updating the parchment card. Okay, cool. Let me refresh this. All right. So yeah, it must be making some deep changes though, because it looks like it brought down the server while it's making them. All right, adding proper padding. Okay. Let me test the Wikipedia integration. Okay, so it's making sure everything works. Cool. I'm excited to see how this looks. Okay. Let me see. All right, so currently not running. Deploy this app to keep it running. So it says the changes were made, but it looks like the app is having a little bit of problems. Let me stop this app and restart it. Okay. Reset that one more time. Wow, this is freezing up on us. Okay. Man, this website has been having a lot of issues today. Okay. The app is crashed. All right, catch that screenshot. Post that in there. As always, any problems we find out with the website, we just post a screenshot, let it know what the situation is, and Replit should be able to get that updated for us. Okay. I can see the app crash. Let me check the console logs and fix the issues. It's no big deal. Agent ran into an error. Wow. Okay. Agent tried to run npm commands in the shell. Oh, okay. So it looks like Replit tried to fix the problem in a way that it just isn't allowed to do. It just doesn't have access. npm, those are like, those would be system level commands. You could call it like Linux terminal commands that you can use to check things out, make some tests. Okay. I can see there's a runtime error in the front end. Okay, so it looks like the design that it went with is causing some problems for us. The CSS variable is causing some issues. All right. Need to fix each occurrence individually. Okay. Man. All right. So, I mean, we're 9 days in, and this is the most close thing to an issue we've ever had. So, guess it's not that bad of a problem. But it looks like Replit, as always, is able to work on that problem and get that fixed for us without really us having to do anything that much. Just let it know the problem. All right. Wikipedia section is using custom CSS. So it looks like the static information they had is having an issue with the information it's pulling from Wikipedia. And static information is just local saved information, not information pulled from the internet. Whereas the Wikipedia information is coming from the internet. So looks like those two are kind of bumping heads and it's causing a problem for us. But should be able to get that resolved. Just remove the old information and add the Wikipedia information in here. But yeah, this program's still struggling. Okay. API is working correctly. Let me catch a screenshot. Improve the website's appearance. All right, so it just saved the state, but it says it updated everything for us, but I'm not seeing that update on our end. Let me try and restart this server. All right, the app is still not running. And I'll just post that same screenshot because we're still in the same situation, really. Let me see what we get back. Okay. I can see the app is still not running. Let me check the browser console logs. All right. Server is responding, so the issue is the front end. Okay. So it seems like the server might be running, the app might be running, but we're just not able to see that on our side, which will be on the front end. Okay, CSS looks correct. Let me check if there are any missing color variables. All right, cool. Let me check if the app is loading correctly. All right, so it looks like it's fighting, but still no dice yet. Okay. Still processing. This is strange. Let me I'm gonna try and stop the server, exit out. I have a feeling that the app is having a problem with communicating with our browser, and it might actually be working, but we're just not seeing what we should be seeing here on our end. Okay, yep, that's what I thought. So looks like it was able to work, but it's just not processing things correctly to us. All right, so that is loading, but we got to get these pictures updated, and we're gonna add a lot more functionality to this app, but just need to get that design a little bit cleaner for now. Okay. Catch that screenshot. Okay, so they added more information in here a little bit. They got pictures here. Good biography, historical images as well. All right, so some decent detail in here. All right. And then links to the full article on Wikipedia. That's decent. That's decent. Okay. Update the correct images for the legends. All right, cool. So Bob Marley, Alexander the Great, King of Macedonia. Okay, nice, nice. I am not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I'm afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. That's tough. That's tough. See, things like that. That's why I'm making this app. Like, it's great motivation, great motivation. All right. Nice. It's looking decent so far. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. I'm liking this so far. All right, cool. The API is being called correctly since Wikipedia enriched process might take a moment. Okay, cool. Still updating everything. Loading legends. Cool. All right, so all of these images are updated now. Okay. Also want to let it know, update the art style used to be more appealing and updated. It should look expensive in design. All right, cool. Yeah, because right now the way this is designed now, it's not that appealing, honestly, in my opinion. I don't like these super sharp edges here. I don't like the background being so faded out. It's not really that impactful. But we do have some decent information in here. Decent information so far. It's working okay. But I want to add in an AI so that we can talk to any of these people, ask them some questions and get some answers back from them. All right, so it's updating the design, updating the portraits to have more luxurious, expensive look. Okay. See what we get back. All right, so this is looking nicer now. This is looking nicer. It's decent. Decent enough. Cleopatra's here, Martin Luther King, Isaac Newton. Okay. So now I want to add in an AI integration so we can actually speak to these people. So let me let this load really quick. Adding in a premium. All right, so it's still updating the design. Let me say, add in an AI component where the user can type to the legend and get a response based on the legend's background and experiences for advice / conversation. All right, so it just got that design updated, and now moving right into adding AI in here so we can talk to these legends and ask them some questions and get some good information back from them. And you can see here, integrating with OpenAI. I already gave it my API key for OpenAI, but if I didn't, and it may ask me for the AI API key, but in a normal situation, you could always just give it your own. Or it'll just ask you to create one like it does here. You can get your API key from this address. Okay, so it is loading that up. A chat component for the front end, integration into the details page. Okay, cool, cool. All right. See what we get back here. All right, so it is loading up. Created that server. Adding in the chat. Seems like that is working fine. So yeah, any of these people, whether it's Genghis Khan or Cleopatra, will be able to ask them questions and, you know, situations like if you fail your test or something, you could just ask like, hey, Cleopatra, what would you do if you failed a test? Something like that, whatever you want to ask. I feel like it'll just be an interesting thing. I haven't seen anybody make it yet, so why not? All right, adding chat endpoints before the server creation. Okay. Still processing that request. Okay. All right, still loading up that for us. See if anything changed so far while it's processing. Yeah, this design it looks better. The background could definitely be black. And I feel like that just changing the background to black would do a lot more for this. But yeah, it's a lot of cool people throughout history here. Tupac. Yeah, I want to ask Tupac some questions. Buddha. It's decent. Harriet Tubman, Napoleon, Che Guevara, Plato. Underrated. All right, cool. Let's see what we get back. See what we get back. All right, let me add some imports and state management. Okay. So imports and state management is basically just allowing the AI to remember who it's talking as, so that each person you talk to will have a different mentality and they'll give you a different answer than they normally would have. But yeah, it's really that easy. We got the AI integrated into our website. It's processing now, but once it's done completing this part, that's all we really needed to do to add AI into our app. We don't have to type any lines of code or do anything crazy. Can just request to add AI in and it'll just do everything for us or let us know what we need to do on our end. But yeah, I want to see the results of this one. All right, perfect. Now let me check the application is running. Okay. So application is running. Chat with Bob Marley. Bob Marley's preparing to speak. Okay. Where at? All right, let me get this on the big screen. Okay. Bob Marley. Chat with Bob Marley. Hey. Having trouble responding now. Please try it again in a moment. All right, so it looks like it's not able to load up that like it should be able to. Error. AI is not working correct. All right, cool. So just letting it know the AI isn't working correctly. Let's see if we can get this updated. The OpenAI key exceeded its quota. So looks like might be a problem with the API key not processing correctly. So I'm going to need to create that API key, and I'll get that done really quick on my end. But yeah, if you ever need to create an API key, you can pretty much just, well, if you use Replit, you can just request to add AI into your app and it'll automatically generate that process to create that key for you. I'm trying to scroll up to see where that portion was here. Okay, so you can see you can use platform.openai.com. Okay, so since I already have an OpenAI account, I'm just going to complete this process, generate a key really quick, but it's really straightforward. If you just go to platform.openai.com, everything is pretty much direct from there. So let me get that done. Okay. API. Okay. So let me create that key. All right. All right, so I just got my key created. Now I just drop that into the OpenAI portion, and it should be able to get that app created for, or make those changes for us that we were looking for. Okay. Let me test the chat feature with the new API key, make sure it's working properly. Okay. Okay. So says it updated the API key now, and we should be able to talk to him now. Let's test that out. Chat with Bob Marley. Hey, still not processing. Let me see what we can do with this. We are still seeing the same error. The quota was not reached in OpenAI. Try to find another solution. All right, so I'm just letting the AI know the method or the issue that you believe is the problem isn't the actual problem. So could try and get that fixed or something else. Okay, so it looks like, okay, the API key might have been cached, which means it might have just been saving old information that was causing some issues for us. Hopefully it can get that solved for us really quick. We can get that AI integration. Okay, updating the chat method to use fallback. Okay. So you're saying it's going to use a fallback method, but I don't want a fallback. See, generate fallback response. This might mean it's not actually using the AI anymore though. So I don't want that. Error in chat with legend using fallback. Do not use a fallback method that does not allow OpenAI chat to work correctly. All right, so I'm just letting it know now before I even test. Don't use a fallback method that wouldn't actually add in the AI like we were looking to use in the first place. Okay. Hey. Yeah, it's still not loading up correctly there. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask ChatGPT what might be causing this problem to see if we can get a different solution. Why would Replit be receiving a quota limit error from a new API key with OpenAI? All right. So I just want to double check if we can get some good information on what might be causing this problem. The OpenAI key has exceeded its usage quota. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, it's literally a brand new key. Hasn't been used at all yet. Let's see if we can get some results on this one. All right. Almost always means you hit a default limit, trial rate limit. I mean, it's not a free account. It says $5 in free credit to new accounts. All right. Let's check out the usage. Let me get this out of here really quick. So let me verify my usage. Maybe there's some information that we need to add in or things like that. Yeah, I see I have not I haven't spent anything on here, and I have a budget of a good amount of budget on here. So let me try and get that solved. Okay. All right, so it's got to work with ChatGPT, try and find a solution to that API problem. And it should be pretty straightforward. Okay. So it's saying we need to add credit card information in the API key, but I have definitely used the API key in the past, but it looks like I need to get that updated or something like that. So let me just check it out. Okay. See here. Huh. Oh, okay. Okay, looks like I found a problem here. Let me get this updated. Looks like it was just using the wrong payment method. Okay, getting that updated. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, okay. Let me get that code in there. Oh, sorry, I didn't even realize I was muted. Wow. Sorry about that. But yeah, so we basically are at a point now where we are about to add integration with all of these different legends with AI so that we can talk to these different legends throughout history, have a conversation with them, and also learn some details and things like that. But just having a little bit of struggle with this AI key or API key so that the AI will work. But let me see. I fixed the API communication issues. The problem was the API request function signature not matching how it was being called. Okay. So it looks like it might have fixed that for us. Let's test it out. It's loading. Hey. Hey, man. All right. A good day to you. How may I be of service? What was it like growing up back when people died or when people got sick so easy? All right. Let's see if we can get a response. Oh, yeah, it's time about you. All right, cool. So, bam, we added AI integration in here for each of these different legends. And now we have the ability to add AI integration for anybody, really. Let's ask Bob Marley a question. What was it like meeting the Beatles? Cool. Meeting the Beatles was a beautiful experience, you know? It must be. The music brought people together just like reggae does. All right, cool. All right, so, I mean, mission accomplished. Honestly, we have that cool little integration of the AI in here. We can talk to whoever we want. Okay. All right, cool. So we got an AI app, right? We have an app where you can check out legends throughout history. You can find out some information on them. You can find some cool quotes about them, but you can also actually ask them questions and they will answer you like that's the person you're talking to. You can get some good information on their backstory and you can just overall have a cool experience. All right. Okay. But yeah, I mean, mission accomplished here today. This is more of a straightforward one, but that's just because tomorrow we have a really, really cool project. We are actually building a DC Comics app, and I think that'll be really cool since that Superman movie came out so recently. And now with this AI integration, we can actually add AI integration to our superhero app where you can have a conversation with these superheroes throughout DC Comics. But yeah, I mean, today was a quick one, but that's 9 days, 9 apps, day 9 of the 30-day 30 app challenge. Appreciate you guys for watching. And this is Adrian Glenn with Military Grade Automation.